What is Russia's May 9 Victory Day, and why is it so significant this year? Marked by grandiose speeches, a colossal parade and a show of military might on Red Square, Russia's Victory Day on May 9, a holiday celebrating the Soviet Union's vanquishing of Nazi Germany, has taken on particular resonance this year with Russia mired in a war in Ukraine. The holiday will take place as Russian state television broadcasts bellicose messages about supposed Nazis in Ukraine, and as the Kremlin leads a stumbling, grinding offensive that has cost thousands of Russians and Ukrainians their lives. Because Russia's invasion has failed to produce much in the way of victories, some analysts fear that President Vladimir Putin will use the occasion to turn what he has called a special military operation into an all-out war and to mobilize Russians for a more broad-ranging conflict. The Kremlin, for its part, denied on Wednesday that it would declare war. Here's a look at the significance the holiday has taken during Mr. Putin's 2 decades in power. Why does Victory Day matter so much this year? In years past, Mr. Putin has used May 9, a near-sacred holiday for Russians, to remember the 27 million Soviets who died in World War II, to mobilize the nation for the possibility of a new battle ahead. When he addressed the nation from his rostrum at Red Square on May 9 last year, he warned that Russia's enemies were deploying once again much of the ideology of the Nazis. Now, Russian state media is referring to Ukrainians who have resisted the Russian invasion as Nazis and portraying the fight as the unfinished business of World War II. It seems almost certain that Mr. Putin will use his May 9 speech next week to invoke the heroism of Soviet soldiers in World War II, to try to inspire Russians to make new sacrifices. The narratives Mr. Putin has been spinning to justify his war in Ukraine are very much in line with the grand, nostalgic narratives of Victory Day. Analysts who follow Russia closely, however, say it is far from certain that Mr. Putin will declare an official state of war and announce mass mobilization, which could entail a military draft and a prohibition on Russian men of military age being allowed to leave the country. Although a shared respect for the sacrifices of World War II remains a unifying force in Russia, a new draft or travel restrictions could provoke a blowback. Russian forces have suffered heavy losses in Ukraine. Western officials estimate that more than 7,000 Russian soldiers have been killed, and some families of service members have questioned the official silence about the scope of casualties. How and why has Mr. Putin tied Russia's victory over the Nazis to his Ukraine offensive? Mr. Putin has variously called Ukraine's government openly neo-Nazi, pro-Nazi and controlled by little Nazis. Announcing Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, he said its goals included the demilitarization and denazification of the country. The language of Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been dominated by the word Nazi, a bizarre contention about a country whose president, Volodymyr Zelensky, is Jewish and last fall signed a law combating anti-Semitism. Mr. Putin has applied the word regularly to the country's present-day government in recent months, though he has long referred to Ukraine's pro-Western revolution of 2014 as a fascist coup. Nazi slurs' sudden emergence shows how Mr. Putin is trying to use stereotypes, distorted reality and his country's lingering World War II trauma to justify his invasion of Ukraine. The Kremlin is casting the war as a continuation of Russia's fight against evil in what is known in the country as the Great Patriotic War. He appears to be counting on lingering Russian pride in the victory over Nazi Germany to carry over into support for the war in Ukraine.